Have you ever felt lonely even when you're not alone? Like you're surrounded by people, you're dating, you're social, you're functioning, but something still feels off. And the confusing part is you're emotionally aware. You reflect, you communicate, you try to understand people. So why does it feel isolating? If you've ever thought, why does it feel like I care more than anyone else? Or why do I feel misunderstood even when I explain myself clearly? If this video explains you, the channel is for you. Let me say this up front. This loneliness is not because you're broken, dramatic, or too much. And it's definitely not because you're bad at relationships. In fact, this type of loneliness often shows up in people who are emotionally intelligent, which sounds ironic until you understand what's actually happening. When people hear emotional intelligence, they think empathy, communication, self awareness. All true, but here's the part nobody talks about. Emotional intelligence also means you notice things other people don't. You sense emotional shifts. You pick up on avoidance. You feel when something is unsaid, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. That awareness quietly changes how you experience relationships. Here's the first reason emotionally intelligent people feel lonely. You're often operating at different emotional depth than the people around you. You have internal conversation that others aren't. You're asking, why did that affect me? What might they be feeling? Is this dynamic healthy? Meanwhile, someone else is thinking, that's just how I am. Why are you overthinking this? Can we not make this deep? And suddenly, you're speaking the same language, but at different volumes. That gap creates loneliness, not because you're superior, but because you're aware. Second reason, emotionally intelligent people edit themselves constantly. You pause before reacting. You choose words carefully. You regulate instead of exploding, which sounds healthy, and it is. But here's the cost. You often hold back parts of yourself so others don't feel overwhelmed, defensive, or uncomfortable. You're not being fake, you're being considerate. But when that becomes one sided, it feels like no one really knows me. Loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from being unseen. Third reason, and this one stings. As emotional intelligence increases, certain relationships stop fitting. Not because anyone did something wrong, but because you're setting boundaries where you used to overextend. You're questioning dynamics you used to tolerate. You are no longer comfortable with surface level connection, and growth creates distance. That distance can feel like loss, even when it's healthy. This is often when people say, I feel lonely, but I don't want to go back. That's not confusion, that's transition. This type of loneliness is subtle. It doesn't scream, it hums quietly in the background. It shows up as feeling emotionally tired after socializing, craving depth but rarely finding it, being the safe one everyone confides in but rarely checks on. And the worst part, you might even blame yourself. Maybe I'm just asking for too much. You're not. You're asking for mutuality. Here's the reframe that changes everything. This loneliness isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a signal that your nervous system wants deeper connection. Not more people, not louder personalities, not constant communication, but emotionally attuned connection. The kind where you don't have to translate yourself. What helps isn't forcing depth with the wrong people. What helps is letting fewer people closer, choosing quality over familiarity, not shrinking yourself to maintain comfort. And yes, that phase can feel lonely, but it's also where the right connections eventually find you. If this video explains something you felt but couldn't name, this channel is for you. Here, we don't pathologize emotions, we make sense of them because clarity doesn't make you colder, it makes you freer. Understanding yourself shouldn't feel this way.